Hello everyone, this is Professor Pilar with another intro to 2D animation in Adobe Animate tutorial. These tutorials can be applied to other softwares or medium, but in these tutorials that I'm doing, I choose to concentrate on Adobe Animate and how to navigate the program as you learn these animation lessons. But like I said, the animation principles apply to any software medium, even if you're animating on paper. The animation principle of the day is slow in, slow out. And slow in, slow out refers to the timing of an object or figure at the beginning or end of a sequence. Slow in, an action decelerates into a keyframe, meaning that the object will move slower. And slow out, an action accelerates out of a keyframe, meaning that the object moves faster. So we're going to be applying all of this in today's tutorial. Today we're going to be applying our slow in, slow out lesson, and we're going to use a ball moving across the screen. And what we're going to do is and I'm going to show you using this chart, we're going to take our extreme poses, which is our ball beginning and our ball ending pose, moving across, and we're going to have our ball move across the screen. And then we're going to add an in-between to those two poses. And then we're going to in-between those poses. And then to add the slow in, slow out, we are only going to in between the drawings closer to the extremes on either end. So when we're going into the pose, we're slowing in, we're going to add an in between here and here. And then when we slow out, we're going to add an in between here and here. So notice how the drawings are closer together towards each extreme. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to go ahead to is, as we animate in Adobe Animate, let's go ahead and be specific as possible. So when we name our layer, so we're going to call that ball. Don't forget to save. So I guess I'm just going to call this demo. Slow in, slow out demo. So now what we're going to go ahead is we have our blank keyframe here. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch in my ball in my first pose. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm actually sketching. It's okay to have it be sloppy because this, after all, is a demo and we can clean it up later. So now that I have my first extreme, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to insert a keyframe, turn on onion skin, and now I'm going to go ahead and sketch my ball in the second extreme. So now I have both extreme poses. So I'm going to toggle. So that's great, right? So now what we have to do is we have to add an in-between. So in order to do that in Adobe Animate, you have two keyframes. They're too close together to draw between. So we're going to insert a frame and extend the first keyframe. If you see that in the up there in the timeline, then you're not done yet. We have to go ahead and now insert a blank keyframe between those two. Now let's turn on the onion skin, and now we can actually see our point A and point B. So now let's go ahead and add an in-between right in the middle. And again, just keeping it consistent. The ball's just going to glide across. I know balls don't really glide, but for our purposes, we're going to have the ball glide. And notice how the ball is in between. So our in-between poses directly between point A and point B. And I'm doing my best to keep the size consistent, but we could always fix that later. So let's go ahead and insert an in-between between our first two drawings. So insert frame. Now I'm going to insert a blank keyframe. So we're going to go ahead and add an in-between between the first half of our animation. So let's go ahead. And it's okay to use the free transform tool to tweak the size a little bit. All right, that looks good. Now, what we want to do is insert a frame and a blank keyframe, and we're going to go ahead, slide those onion skin sliders so we only see the drawings that we need to see. Let's go ahead and add an in-between between our last two drawings. And it's okay to tweak. I'm working rough. It's better, it's easier to animate when you work rough because you're getting that motion in. So now if you turn on the onion skin, I have 5 evenly spaced drawings. That looks good. It's saved. Size isn't perfect. Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and tweak that a little bit. So now, if you were to play this back, I know it's on ones and we're gonna tweak, we're gonna do the timing later. The ball just moves right across the screen. You know, it's very mechanical. The ball moves across the screen. The motion is very even. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to add our slow in, slow out. So let's have the ball slow in, and we're going to add an in-between between our very first drawing. Insert a keyframe, a blank keyframe. And see how the ball is, see how the drawings are getting closer together? Now, if you look at the onion skin, the drawings are like touching. So if you compare it to the rest, the ball is really far apart. Each drawing is like not touching. Each drawing is like a finger width apart. Now that we're having a ball slow out, the drawings are practically touching. The drawings are touching, they're overlapping. Now let's go ahead and we just did our slow in, now let's add our slow out. Insert frame, let's add our blank keyframe. Onion skin, and now once again, the size is not perfect. You could always tweak it later. Whoops. And now we have our slow out. We have our slow in and our slow out. Let's look at it with the onion skin to see how the drawings are spaced apart. See that? See how the drawings are closer together at the end, at the beginning, and at the end. So since the drawings are closer together, that means that the action will speed up from a slower speed and then slow down. Let's save. And actually, that's a little better when you play it back. But I want to add yet another in between my first two drawings. Don't forget to add that blank keyframe. So many people forget to add the blank keyframe and then they end up drawing on existing drawings. I make that mistake a lot too. All right. Very good. See, that's like really going to be like accelerating, right? Insert frame, blank keyframe. Let's go ahead and add our slow out. My sizing is like all over the place. The beauty of Adobe Animate is you have the free transform tool. Let's go ahead and play it now. See how like it starts off slow, speeds up, and then slows down. It's so much better. It's like so much less mechanical. Let's go ahead and save, and let's go ahead and look at it with the onion skin. So that is a slow in, slow out. And if you want to time it out, if you look at the top, if you look at our frames are all, it's on ones. Let's go ahead and time it out. So each frame, whoops. Let's go ahead and time it out so each frame each frame lasts for 2 frames. So therefore, we're exposing it on 2s, like the classic animation. Let's go ahead and play it now. And that looks really good. You could always go in and tweak your timing. You could always go in and tweak it and clean it up. I know some of the sizing is a little wonky, but that is a ball that speeds up and then slows down. And that is the principle of slow in, slow out as seen in Adobe Animate. Hit me in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks, guys.